Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. We have a lot to talk about today. Poshmark has kind of blown up over the last little while. First things first, we're going to start off small and go to the big one. There's no more listing streaks. That is gone. It's off everybody's apps. And for me, my attitude is bye-bye, see you later. Not a big deal. I have been locked out of my account and had to change my password twice now within less than a week. Not happy about that. It first happened last Friday, just after Poshmark went down on Thursday. I woke up and I was locked out of my account and I had to put in a new password. It happened again this morning. I woke up, I was locked out of my account. I did an update yesterday, so I don't know what's happening. It's frustrating. I did email support to say this has happened to me now twice in less than a week. What's going on? Because I'm not doing anything differently. I will see what they say and I will let you know what they say. It's frustrating to me because, you know what, when I get locked out, I can't get in and answer questions or do anything. And I'm assuming that my automation also can't do anything because if I'm locked out, they're locked out. That means that when I change my password, I have to go into my automation and change the password there. And if you're like me, you kind of forget sometimes, like I did this morning. And I was at work and I went to check something on the app. And I saw I had a like, and I was like, oh, 15 minutes ago, why did they not get an offer? Because I have it set for 6 minutes after a like. Light bulb went off, oh yeah, I changed my password. I have to go home and change it on PrimeLister. So it's frustrating because I lose activity, right? So hopefully support will get to the bottom of it and I can figure out what I'm doing or if I'm doing anything wrong. All right, the big news. Posh US has a new shipping policy. In the long run, I think this is a good thing for the platform. I think it's a good thing for sellers and for buyers. I think it will make buyers buy a little bit more. It will give them some incentive to buy. So it's going down to $6.49, which is fantastic. I think that's really, really good. Considering that here in Canada, we pay $12.49 for shipping on Poshmark. I think it works out to about $9 US. So yes, we do pay more here initially. Now with Posh US, it'll be $6.49, but you're going to Grounded Vantage. This is where the chaos has happened. You're switching from priority mail to Grounded Vantage, which means you have to change your packaging. Yes, you can use your own packaging, Amazon boxes, blank poly mailers, whatever you want. That's always been the case. But if you have priority boxes because you get them for free and you stock up because you're going to make lots of sales, you cannot use them anymore. Now, let me clarify that before everybody freaks out. There is a grace period. So Grounded Vantage is coming September 12th, which is Friday. We have 30 days from then, so to October the 12th, where you can still use your priority boxes with your Grounded Vantage label. This is what Poshmark is telling us. But to be safe, talk to your post office because you know that the communication between Poshmark and USPS and each individual post office is not very good. So talk to your post office and saying, this is what I'm being told. What do I do? I'm being told I can use this Grounded Vantage label on my priority box. You're going to have problems. Some post offices are going to say, nope, can't do that. Nope, nope, nope. And some are going to say, yeah, I understand. I get it. We got the memo and you'll be fine. So what I would do personally is if I have a couple of sales before Friday, before the Grounded Vantage takes effect, I would go into my post office and talk to the person behind the counter. If you have time, that would be a great thing to do. Tell them this is what's happening and this is what we're being told. Can you look into it so that I can still use these boxes until I get my Grounded Vantage boxes? Which was another issue. The Poshmark brought out this announcement, and it's a very quick turnaround from September, it was the 8th, right? It was Tuesday? No, Monday. It was Monday. I'll be okay. Today's only Wednesday. It was Monday, and they're switching Friday. That is a big pivot in a very short amount of time. Poshmark provided an 800 number that people could call to order USPS Advantage packaging, Grounded Vantage packaging, free packaging, fantastic. The phone lines were so overwhelmed. People were being hung up on. People were being redirected to the same phone number. People were being told they had no idea what they were talking about. So it was not executed well in that way. There is now an email that you can use. It is, if you go to the email that Poshmark sent out about this announcement and you go to the part where it says USPS packaging, it's highlighted. If you click on that, there is an email that you can send. I will pin that email down below in the comments just in case you didn't get it. In this email, you're going to give them your name, your closet name, your mailing address, your phone number, your email, your type of packaging that you need, and how many you need. And there's a list somewhere about the Ground Advantage packages that you can get. Will you get them in time for Friday? Probably not. I don't think so. I don't believe it's something that each post office carries. If it even, it's just something special, I believe. So you might have to wait for them to come in. In the meantime, you can use plain packaging. If you are worried that your post office won't take the priority package with the Ground Advantage label, you can use your Amazon packages. You can ask friends and family for boxes and polymailers and their own shipping supplies. You can go into stores and ask them for boxes and stuff like that. You can buy a couple of little polymailers off of eBay. Well, you probably could off of eBay, off of Amazon or from a dollar store or something like that to get you over this hump until you get your boxes or bags in, okay? What you don't want to do, and I'm going to say this in the sense that this is what the reality is. When you have a priority box, a USPS priority box, you are not to use it for anything else. You are not to turn it inside out and put it in a poly mailer. You are not to wrap it so that they don't know it's a priority box. Yes, people do it. People do it and they get away with it and they say, I do it all the time. I've been doing it for years. That's, you know what? You shouldn't do that, but okay. It is against the law. It's mail fraud. That's what they say. You know, if you get caught, you could be in a lot of trouble. So I don't know if you want to take that risk. I will tell you that I would not be taking the risk. I'm kind of a rule. I like to break the rules sometimes, but this is something that I would not break the rules on. It irritates me if people say, "Oh yeah, I just use priority bubble mailers to like pack items into a box." It's like, don't do that. They're given to you for free to use for priority mail, and that's costing money somewhere along the line, which eventually will drip down to us as sellers. Anyway, just letting you out there, let you know that it is against the law. So if you hear people telling you, "Oh, I just put it in a poly mailer," take it with, you know what, that idea that you may get caught and get in trouble. Okay. If you have a lot of priority boxes left over and you only sell on Poshmark, you won't be using them for eBay or for Depop or for anything else, take them back to your post office. Or I've heard, and this is just a rumor, so you have to check it out, call the post office for a pickup saying it's just priority boxes and get them to pick it up and take them back to the post office for you. I've heard that people that can do that. Try it, see if it works. If not, take them back to the post office. That is the best thing that you could possibly do. Okay, so my whole thing on this. $6.49 is great shipping, fantastic shipping. Not sure if the heavier weight labels will be adjusted because right now it's really expensive on Posh US for the heavier weight label. Here in Canada, yes, we do pay more for shipping, but our heavier weight labels are $1, $2, up to, I believe the most is $5 for 11 pounds, which that's the same label you guys are paying $22.50 US for, which is really insane in my opinion. So watch for that to see if that changes. I'm sure it will. Well, I'm hopeful that it will. In the long run, $6.49 will be great. It'd be great incentive for your buyers to pay more in your closet so they have that little bit of money left over so they can spend more. Make sense? So hopefully in the long run it will be a good thing. But again, when Poshmark executes something, when they announce something, very seldom do they have the back end situated and sorted. There's always chaos. There's always chaos. Why they decided to announce it a couple of days before PoshFest, why they didn't sort of align their negotiations with USPS and PoshFest. I don't know why they didn't do that. I don't know if it's any sort of conspiracy theory, whether they wanted to bring out something really good and really happy, make people happy before they went to PoshFest so that they wouldn't complain when they're at PoshFest, a distraction because of the new listing, delisting sort of policy. I don't know. A friend of mine brought that up to me and I was like, yeah, I kind of agree with you. I can see Poshmark trying to do something like that, but who knows. PoshFest is this weekend. Well, this week it's Thursday and Friday. I will be watching. They do let us see State of the Union, hackathon, things like that. So I will be watching them and seeing what happens and what's being said. And I will be uploading a video about that. And we'll talk about PoshFest and what my take on it is and everything else. Okay, we'll do that probably on the weekend. But yeah, that's it. So no more listing streaks. I keep getting locked out of my closet. We don't know what's going on with that, but I'll keep you posted. And the shipping reduction should be a good thing in the long run once everything settles down. All right, that is it for today. I hope everybody has a fantastic week, and I'll see you next time. Bye.